Hello, my name is Ali and welcome to my channel. We are back with Hakuoki, Kyoto Winds, Hijikata's route. We're getting pretty close to the end, I'm guessing. I'm not sure, I don't know, but we'll see how this goes. That night, I had visited Okita's room to check up on his condition. Good evening, Okita. How are you feeling? Huh? Heisuke? I arrived to find that Heisuke had also come to visit Okita to pass the time.
Oh, hey Chizuru. What are you doing up so late?
What do you mean?
People might get the wrong idea if they see a girl visiting a man's room in the middle of the night.
Oh, Heisuke, you're smarter than that. You know Okita and I aren't,
Yeah, I guess you have a point. That's not really your sort of thing, is it?
Hey, what do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean? Come on.
That didn't make sense, but okay. So, why are you here? I assume you've got a reason for visiting me in the middle of the night. Oh, I came to check up on you, Okita. So, are you feeling okay? Is there anything you want to eat? Of course not. Look at what's going on. I suppose. That all then? Why don't you turn around now? Oh, no, Okita had been acting more aggressively than I had anticipated, so it kind of took me aback. But I had to bring up the subject on my mind. Do you guys know that, Sanan wants to augment the Fury Core?
Yeah, of course.
Well, if you were in Sanon's position, wouldn't you do the same thing? The Fury Core needs to gain numbers, or they'll never make a name for themselves. I mean, it's a given that once they're deemed useless, they'll be cut off. Cut off? No. What? Wait, are you surprised? You think we're some Samaritans with handouts for every mouth to feed around here? I mean, sure, you mooched off us for 4 years, but that was your luck. Don't ever forget it. Oh, I suppose you have a point. I'm sorry.
Soji, you're being a jackass. It was our fault that she was put into solitary confinement without our compounds.
I think it's supposed to be within, not without. I think I read that wrong. Oh well. Heisuke interjected with stern words, and Okita sneered in his direction. Clearly unmoved by Heisuke's defense in my favor, Okita kept harping on about his grievances. What the hell is Hijikata even doing? He should be kicking himself in the ass that he hasn't already killed the men who hurt Kondo. If I wasn't like this, I'd pick up my sword right now and go get revenge for Kondo. Okita's bed rest was clearly rankling him. Never heard of that word. After all, he'd known Kondo for a long time, long before the beginning of the Shinsengumi in Edo. What do you think, Heisuke?
Me? Well, I did decide to drink the water of life, but I'm not gonna lie. I was worried about what would happen to me. Sanan says we should have more men in the Fury Core. He says we'll never win otherwise. But I also don't like the idea of forcing men who may not have even broken our code to drink the water of life either.
Oh. He was so unlike the Heisuke I remembered, so stern and cold. I couldn't help but feel sad too. Well, no matter what Sanan says, at the end of the day, it's going to be Hijikata who makes the call.
You're right. But the Fury Core already exists. We can't pretend it doesn't.
Then maybe Sanon's right, and we should use the Fury Core however we see fit. At least they can still wield swords. Perhaps we could use the Furies as a weapon. They might help us to win the coming war. Their strength would be an undeniable military asset. But once the war is over, what would become of them? I was afraid to ask that question because I feared I already knew the answer.
The next day, an unexpected visitor arrived. Oh.
Hello, Chizuru. It's been far too long.
Sen, why are you here? And Kimigiku's here too. Well, business with the chief. We've got business with the chief. Can you go get him for us? Oh, Kondo isn't in a good enough shape to speak to anyone. Perhaps Hijikata?
Then Hijikata will serve admirably.
All right, please come inside. I wonder what kind of business they could have had a discussion. Retry. I wonder what kind of business they could have had to discuss that brought them to us at such a late hour. I felt uneasy as we headed towards Hijikata, who was in the magistrate. Huh? What an unexpected guest. We don't usually allow visitors in here. What do you want?
My apologies for intruding, but it was imperative that I speak with you today.
I'll go make some tea.
No, thank you, but that's not necessary. I shall take my leave as soon as I am finished. And in fact, I would prefer you stay. You may wish to hear this as well.
Okay. What did she have to say that was so important, and that might be something I should hear? I sat down in a corner and listened intently.
I have come to discuss your furies.
When he heard the word furies, I saw his face twitch.
I will get straight to the point. How much longer will you employ them?
What do you mean?
You've kept them enslaved for quite some time. I believe you know exactly what I mean. The Furies are a failed experiment. Even the shogunate has admitted to that. They are too much for your organization to handle. With demons on your trail, you would do well to wash your hands of Furies.
Isn't it up to us to decide whether they're a failure or not? We've done our own research on the water of life. I don't think it's your place to judge us, ma'am. Then are you aware that the Shinsengumi Furies have been murdering people on the street to test their strength? What? For a split second, his cold mask dropped, and I saw genuine confusion and dismay on his face. Yeah, I see it right there. Then it was gone, and he was cold and composed once again. Where'd you hear that? I've no reason to tell you. All I can say is this. Rest assured, the source I've received the information from is reliable. You have not been able to keep the water of life from driving your men mad. Your job is to protect the safety of the capital, correct? And yet your men roam the streets, killing innocent civilians. It disgusts me. Before this becomes common knowledge, I strongly suggest you disband the Fury Corps. Kimigiku's logic was sound. Hijikata had no counter-argument. Everyone in the room had fallen silent. But was it true? Were the Furies indeed cutting people down in the street for the thrill of killing? If the Fury Corps was disbanded, then Sanan and Heisuke would... Every one of us waited for Hijikata's answer with bated breath. My heart roared in my ears.
I suppose we can table this for the moment. There is something else I must discuss.
With this, she turned and looked at me.
Chizuru, will you please leave with us?
What?
I know we spoke before, but the situation has changed. You do understand that, don't you?
Soon war will break out in Kyoto. If you are going to escape, this is your chance. I knew war was coming, but to hear the truth presented so baldly was jarring.
Please come with us. I don't believe the Shinsengumi will be able to protect you once the war begins.
Wait a minute. Are you suggesting we can't handle it?
The truth is sometimes hard to accept. If Kazuma returns, can you protect her from him? What if he comes to call while you are locked in battle elsewhere against the Satsuma and Choshu? Will you be able to protect her then?
Oh, of course this pops up. So I swear it's like once in every episode.
And in any event, she is a demon, not a human.
Oh my god. Jeez.
She should be with her own kind.
We can protect her. Under our protection, she can be ensured a safe passage and a secure hiding place. She turned from Hijikata to face me once again. You see, you should come with us. If you leave, then they can concentrate wholly on the battles to come. Her words hit like blows, but she spoke the truth. War would break out soon. Well, close enough. War would soon break out, and perhaps remaining with the Shinsengumi would be dangerous for me and for them. I would be useless in war. I was no soldier. Even so, I wanted to stay. I looked over at Hijikata, hoping he might give me an answer. He only furrowed his brow and looked the other way, saying nothing. What was I to do? We are going to... I should leave... ... I was sure Sen was right, and I should leave, but... the words just couldn't come. In truth, I didn't want to leave. I hoped that maybe someday all of the madness and war would end, and then I could be a human being, not a demon. What do you say, Chizuru? You really ought to leave. You'll be much safer with us. Her voice was kind, and I knew she had only the best interests at heart, but I still couldn't bring myself to respond. Hijikata, of course, saw straight through me. You don't want to leave, do you? Huh? Then stay. What's there to think about? But is that really okay? If Kazuma came after me again...
Oh! I love how it's like right in front of him, not like in the middle of the screen.
I'm not going to repeat myself. And what proof do you have that these two can keep you a secret any better than we can? Even if he wasn't after you, that bastard be an enemy of ours. If we'd got the same enemies, makes sense to me that we'd stick together. He was as gruff as ever, but it wasn't hard to understand what he was trying to say. So, I can stay? What the hell kind of question is that? If you were as much of a pain in the ass as you seem to think, I would have kicked you out a long time ago.
Oh, that makes me feel good. He likes me.
Really flooded out across my body. Thank you so much. With war set to break out at any time, the Shinsengumi was changing. I didn't know how useful I could be to them once the battle began, or once the battle was begun. But even so, Hijikata told me it was okay to stay. So, you've turned me down again then, have you? I'm sorry. It was very nice of you to offer, though. Oh, it's all right. If you're so determined to stay, then what could I ever hope to do? There was one other tiny little thing I wanted to ask you. When you told me before that you were, interested in someone, did you perchance mean Hijikata?
Ooh.
What? I wasn't quite sure how to answer that question. Well, to be honest, I don't really know Hijikata that well, but I stumbled over my words, not quite sure how to explain to her how I felt, perhaps because I wasn't quite sure myself. The men called him the demon because he's so strict and harsh with the soldiers. A lot of people think that he doesn't care about anyone, and that he's cold, but I think he has a kind heart in there. He has a lot of responsibilities, and the whole Shinsengumi rides on his back. I don't think he has any choice but to act like that. I don't know what I can do for him, but I want to stay here and do whatever I can. Well, I dare say he has captured you quite thoroughly. What? I gave her a confused look, but Sen smiled and continued. They say that my ancestors, Suzuka Gozen, fell in love with a human by the name of Tamaramaro, I guess, Sakanoe, and followed him to the capital. Let's look it up. Look it up. A shogun during the Heian period. He defeated
Suzuka, why couldn't I read that all of a sudden? Gozen, a female demon who lived in the Suzuka mountain, and he conquered the Tohoku region.
I am, in fact, their granddaughter, so I suppose I know something of how you feel. Circumstance and rank mean little before the power of love.
What? Wait, what? Love? I never meant... Oh gosh, hello there. Holy smokes. She only rested her hand on my shoulder and continued.
You may be two different creatures, human and demon, but do you think that means your love is doomed to failure? Best of luck to you, Chizuru. I shall be cheering for you.
My lady, we should go.
Oh, yes. Yes, you're right. Then I must take my leave, dear Chizuru. Do take care. You mustn't underestimate Kazuma. He is terribly powerful. If something happens, feel free to call me any time. If you need to reach me, please send a letter to Sumi.
All right. Thank you. Goodbye. In mere moments, they were gone. Circumstance and rank mean little before the power of love. But was this thing I felt, the desire to be close to Hijikata? Was that really love? I just wanted to be around him and help him. Besides, the most important thing to Hijikata was the Shinsengumi. He'd built it up from nothing and put everything he was into it. With war against Satsuma and Choshu brewing, he hadn't the time to think of anything else. That being the case, as someone under the care of the Shinsengumi, I needed to think of how I could best put my own skills to use. I'm gonna pour scalding hot tea on people. No, sorry. As evening came, I was helping to prepare dinner at the Fushimi Magistrate. It seemed like the best course of action I had at the... Ew, I just licked my microphone, gross. It seems like the best course of action I had at this time was to prepare meals. I couldn't even prepare many of the side dishes, so all I could do was cook rice for them. But even then, I wanted to make eating easy for warriors who were constantly on the move, so I made rice balls and handed them out. Has anyone not gotten any meals yet? May I have one? May I have seconds? Yes, of course. Have as many as you like. Then, can I have one too? The warriors were ravenous, reaching out for the rice balls with their whet appetite. Never heard of it that way. I had set some aside for the captains already, so I suppose it was all right. Once I'd passed them out, the rice balls were almost all gone in an instant. Eventually, it was down to the last rice ball in the basket. The warrior reaching out for it noticed it was the last, and he stopped himself. There are more left, so please take it. Thank you. The young warrior had looked so excited as he grabbed it. I was going to use whatever was left for my dinner, but there were no rice balls left at the end. Still, I was a lot happier knowing the warriors could eat instead of worrying about myself. I guess I'll hold out until the next meal. Oh! The sound of the stomach caught me off guard. My stomach just growled. Thank goodness no one was around to hear it. Maybe it's best if I drank some water. As I was heading to the kitchen, I suddenly heard a voice come from behind me. Was that your stomach just now? Oh God, of course he'd hear it. Hijikata! Where did he come from? And he even heard my stomach growl. That was... It seems like the boys ate all the food. Did you eat? I'll eat later, I'm fine. Didn't ask if you're fine. I asked if you've eaten. Well, no, not yet. My voice was timid as I answered, and Hijikata sighed before taking something out of his pocket. Geez, here you go. He's being so nice to us. He's giving us food. What he had taken out of his pocket was one of the rice balls, wrapped in a bamboo leaf that I had left out for the captains earlier. This should be yours, Hijikata. Just shut up and eat it. No, Hijikata, you should eat it instead. I refrained from grabbing it, but Hijikata gritted his teeth from being annoyed, and we both stared at the rice ball being offered.
Oh my god, it's the CG. So freaking cute. Oh my god.
Don't tell me you're rejecting my kindness. Fine. Here. We'll half it. You happy now? He gruffly split the rice ball in half, and then he handed it to me. The force of his hand as he reached toward me. It was a statement that he wasn't going to take no for an answer. I grabbed the rice ball from his hand.
He's so hot.
Thank you. Then I will take your offer and take your half. As soon as I grabbed the rice ball, Hijikata hastily bit into his half and scarfed it down. I saw him, and I too rushed to bite my rice ball.
So cute.
Oh, she's blushing. As soon as I'd swallowed the first bite, I nearly melted from the relief of eating. Phew, this is delicious. Despite Hijikata standing over me, the satisfaction of food entering my stomach prevailed. My eagerness made me a little self-conscious. Hijikata, however, seemed unfazed by it, and he spoke as he continued eating his rice ball. Stop worrying about the others and eat the portion of food you deserve. Hear me? Sorry. I'll be sure to do that next time. I wasn't trying to lecture you. Oh, frickin'. Then he'd stopped chewing and muttered with chunks of rice in his mouth. Thanks. Don't worry. I'd rather it be eaten by the other men. I could always eat later. I'll be fine. That's not what I'm talking about. I meant to say thanks for sticking around. Oh. Yes, I decided today to stay with the Shinsengumi. Despite Sen offering me a safe place to hide out, I had turned her down. I made the decision to stay beside this man. And Hijikata was happy about it too. What's with the funny face? Hurry up and eat. Okay. I was rushing to eat the rest of my rice ball, but suddenly I didn't feel so hungry anymore, as if another feeling made all others vanish. Ooh, you in love. However, it seemed like Hijikata was just standing there watching me finish the rest of my rice ball. Was that enough to eat? Yes, I'm fine now. I'm going to leave the compounds to you. Take care of this place. Oh my god, he's so cute. Okay, I'll do my best. I was so happy that Hijikata had entrusted me to watch the compounds, so I couldn't help but straighten up as he spoke. And I think Hijikata flashed a quick grin when he saw that. He turned around and disappeared to the back of the building. I'm going to let you guys go here. It's a little bit longer than usual, but my last episode, I believe, was shorter. So I hope you are enjoying, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!